Alright guys, Original Gamer here, and I'm bringing you a deck profile of my Frog deck with I incorporated the a little Ghost Trick engine in here. I got a little excited about this just because I don't see anybody actually making this on YouTube, or at least I didn't know the keywords to search for it. So I figured, I'd go ahead with my own build, and I've been, really wanting to play frogs again. And I figured this is something completely new from what I was even used to playing frogs. So I figured I'd give it a try. Oh, by the way, this is not in my main deck. I just threw that in there because I just wanted to talk about how awesome this guy was. And doesn't target, so he's really a great side deck card. If I can't find room for him in my main board, I side him. So I'm just putting him there just to let you guys know that that card's actually pretty good. Alright, we're going to start off with my build. Here's the frog engine, 3 swap frogs, 3 dupe to search the swap frog, 1 tree-born frog because I think 2 is clunky, although sometimes your random opponent will be playing, that one DD Crow or the Dark Smog or whatever, the Banishing is a real pain in the ass, but you can still play without tree-born frog, but it is definitely, So I can't really knock people for running more than 1, but I just can't bring myself to do it because I just wouldn't want to draw it. And then any more than 1s, in my opinion, is just just too many, redundant. 2 run and tonin, I would never run 3. In my opinion, that's just too many. 1 Mother Grizzly. This helps you get to a lot of different key cards. You can get to your swap frog or pretty much any of your frogs if you want to. Also, it searches Sea Lancer, which is another reason this card is so powerful. So you got your graveyard set up, you got your frogs banished with Rodent Toad, and you draw on the Mother Grizzly. You can crash it, and then their monster grab out your Lancer and start activate his effect, and then you got yourself your invincible Sea Lancer. 1 Tidal, because the card is too good and everything in this deck's water, so, well, most everything in this deck's water, so why not? Also, it works as a Foolish Burial and a recurring 2600 beater. This is just pretty good. I run double Mobius, the Mega Monarch. This card is the nuts against heavy back row decks. If you can actually, whenever you get his effect off and you can actually tribute a water monster, your opponent's back row is going bye-bye. It's really, really great. They can't activate anything in response to its effect, which is why it's so great. So I run 2 of those. I run 1 Lad, mostly because there's a lot of ways to get around this, a lot more than there used to be. It's still a fantastic card, and the fact that I can recycle it with a card I'll show you later, 1 of is just, it's fine whenever you draw it, and you just don't want too many tributes to get clunky in your hand, so 1 of is okay. 1 Dark Dust Spirit. This card is nuts too. Continuously nuke the field. It's like your own little Garunex. Sea Lancer. I run 2 Sea Lancer. Card is absolutely nuts in this deck. That's the let's put frogs on the map pretty much. Frog Lancer. Yeah, going on. Now here is my miniature Ghost Trick engine. I run 3 Mary. You take any damage, you discard this card from your hand, and you get to special summon 1 Ghost Trick from your deck to face down defense position. So normally you don't ever summon this card. You want it in your hand to ditch it, or even you can normal summon it for a rank 1 play. But generally you want this card to search out this, or 1 of 2 cards, this being the first. Jiangshi, you special summon him in defense. Even if your opponent runs it over, I mean it's got 1800 defense, but if they do run it over, you still get a search off of it, and you'll search 1 of the other cards that I'm going to show you. So basically, you marry to Jiangshi, they attack that, and you can get 1 of 2 of these. Ghostricks Spectre. Now, if someone attacks your Jiangshi, you can search Spectre, add it to your hand. Jiangshi will then go to the graveyard because it was attacked by battle, and then you can activate Spectre's effect, special summoning him and drawing a card all at once. So depending on if you really want that draw, or you can keep this monster on the field not only that, or not only the draw, but you can keep it on the field, so for either rank 1 or tribute fodder. And here is my other monster that you would search off of it. Ghostricks Jack Frost. I use this in place of Battle Fader in this deck. And 2 is fine. You could run 3 if you wanted to. I wouldn't knock it. But the fact that you can recycle this card by the cards I run in my extra deck, I need more than 2 in my opinion because it's so easily searchable. And after that, I can just pretty much just grab them back from my graveyard and add them back to my hand. So I don't feel it necessary to run any more than 2. Gors, the Emissary Darkness, great hand trap. A lot of people even forget that that's even ran, so you know it's always good to surprise your opponent. 2 Effect Veiler. Effects are still huge in the meta. Skill drains running rampant, and everyone knows that getting your effects turned off at a key moment or just to start your engine just really sucks. So you know hand traps are a thing. I run double card D. This was Max C. I was thinking about maining the Max C instead. But then I felt it was safer to main card D because not every deck special summons a bunch to where Max C would become relevant enough to running in the main. So I side it, and then if I do go against a spammy deck, I'll just side this out and put my Max C's in for another draw power. I just felt like it was safer for card D. It helps me dig for any combo piece that I may need at the time, or just to get the engine running. 3 Econs. This is a staple card in Frogs. No ands, ifs, and buts about it. Run 3 of these cards. If you're running Frogs, you run 3 of these before you even consider Creature Swap, because these cards are actually better than Creature Swap, honestly. Yep, that's the Econs. And then, of course, your staple 3 MSTs, and I run Dark Hole because nuking my opponent's field will hurt them a lot more than it will hurt me because I can just keep bringing my Frogs back, and you know how that goes. A lot of people get really annoyed with all that stuff. Now, I'm going to go ahead with my extra deck. Slacker Magician, one of. Because of the cards, off the Ghostricks engine you search, you can make rank 1s a lot in this deck. So having the 1 Slacker Magician is always nice because there's some decks that can have a really tough time getting around that card. So she is fantastic for those matches. Now, here is this deck's kind of boss monster now with the Ghostricks in it. A lot of decks have a really hard time with this card because it just halves their monster's attack and once per turn during either player's turn. So it's like a Gale on crack a little bit. But it gains 200 attack for every Ghostricks on the field, so it comes out at 1200. And if there's any more, it gains more attack. But that lets you crash with about 20, a monster with like 2200 attack, I believe, just head on. And not only that, whenever this card dies, it lets you add a Ghostricks card in your graveyard, target it, and add it back to your hand. This is the main reason I'm only running 2 Jack Frost, 2 Spectres, and their search cards, because if this card dies, if I need any of those Ghostricks to get added back to my hand, I'll just, this card replaces itself. So the minus you take in making this, if you even minus yourself, because, Frogs can just gain advantage from the graveyard out of nowhere for nothing. So, gotchi. Everyone knows Frog decks run this guy in their extra deck. It's one of the biggest pains in the asses to get around. And it increases all your monsters' attacks, gives Lad a couple more negates, or at least 1 more negate. It boosts all your monsters pretty much over top of anything else you can think of. Like, even if you side in, imagine a 2800 Vanity's Fiend, or something like that. You know what I mean? Like, it just makes getting around your monsters that much harder. I run 1 number 96 Dark Mist. This card is absolutely amazing. If they don't have anything to stop this card, it's really, there's a lot more outs to it than there used to be, but this card still can change the game or win it. So I run 1 of him in my extra deck. Now, Digesto Phoenix. Everyone, or this one probably catches more people off guard than it should, actually. I don't know, whenever I played Frogs and this came out, I instantly knew this would be great. I actually picked these up way before their price spike, so I actually made profit on these. I got like 3 or 4 of them for nothing, like $1 or $2, and then all of a sudden they price spiked to like almost 40 or $20, $30 or whatever, and I was just like, yeah, I traded a couple of them away, but I kept 2 because I knew the frog deck only needed 2 for the OTK. But of course the OTK went away because tour guide saying and stuff isn't really ran anymore. But you can still put a crap ton of damage on the board. These will be one of the most, the rank 2 that you enter the most out of your extra deck. This new addition to the deck, a Herald of Pure Light, lets you recycle anything in your graveyard and add it back to your hand. You get a Sea Lancer that you really need because in your graveyard, you maybe ditched for a Swap Frog, and now you got a setup for it, or you can Foolish Burial your stuff with Tidal, so you can just instantly sit in the graveyard. You want to reuse a Mobius, you want to reuse a Jack Frost, whatever it is that you may want to reuse from your graveyard. This guy just monster reincarnation right back out. Although you don't discard a card to the graveyard, it adds a card back to your deck, and that's kind of sucks, but at the same time you get the card that you want back from the graveyard, and it's really, really great in this deck. I've seen lots of people running 3, but I decided to go with 2 because I've never noticed myself needing any more than 2, but some other people might play the deck a bit different than me. 1 Leviair, the Sea Dragon. This will be another Downerd Magician when I get another one, but as of now I only got the 1. And you can do really nice plays. Bring back your Treeborn if you have to banish it or your opponent banishes it. Also, anything level 4 or less, you can just bring back from your banish zone, which happens a lot because you're playing frogs. 1 Ghostricks Alucard has more synergy in this deck than it does in any other deck. So not only is this pretty much the best rank 3 in the game right now, but if it does die, you get the plus off of it. It kind of floats. Just like Dullahan does in this deck. So Alucard was a shoe-in. There's only the one way you can make the rank 3s in the deck, which is the only reason I'm running 2. But the fact that I can possibly do it, I run the 2 in here. But like I said, this will be coming out, so I'll basically just be running 1 rank 3. And I have made Alucard, although he got stopped by a Bottomless, I think. But or Compulse. But I run 1 Gaia Charger, the Thunder Charger, because you got Econ, you can steal their monsters and overlay this on top of it. Basically, that's it for him. And also the 1 Downerd Magician. Card is absolutely nuts. You can, any of your rank 2s or 3s, I believe. Yeah, yep, rank 3 or lower. You can just overlay them on top of it, get yourself a 2500 beater, which you do a lot with, mostly you'll just use that either on top of this or this. If it's done its job, and then this is going to get ran over, or you definitely know this is going to get ran over, you're probably going to get 1 trick. This is a 1-trick pony. You get detaching material, recycle your card, and then in your main phase 2, overlay that on there. 2500 is way better than 1000 defense, so 2500 is still better than 1500. Although if you can protect this guy, it's definitely worth it, because another 3,000 you can mean game a lot of the time. But that is it for my frog deck, frog Ghostricks deck. Tricks are for frogs. Yeah. But let me know what you guys think about the deck. It's kind of nifty. It actually really works. If you don't believe me, you guys can net deck this and go on Dev Pro. I actually already had somebody on Dev Pro ask me for my deck list. And and I just accidentally closed it out, and I couldn't figure out his name, but I couldn't give it to him. But I figured I'll put it on here, and anyone that is interested in something like this will look it up. But as always, guys, thank you for watching. Have a nice day. Rate, comment, subscribe. Yeah, thanks.